Now we get underway with our first of three junior road tax heats. It's Heat 1, Groups B versus C. Here is your starting grid. Kasper Schormans, the second, well, one of the quickest drivers out there in time qualifying this morning, will start from pole position. Armand Hamilton will be alongside on the front row. Then it's Mitchell van Dijk and Max Cuthbert. Mika van der Pavert, and then we got Dave Stevens, row 3. Row 4, Ruben Verheyen and Lucas Sell. Then it's Marlon Di Salvo and Max Swiderski completing the top 20 and the top 10. Archie Buttle, Luca Brima, Boaz Maximov, Matthias Jellerup, Mads Larsen, Timo Jungling, Thijs van Wijk, Olivier Jonkers, Timothy Vladimirov and Ryan Bourguignon rounding out the top 20. Sebastian Koch, Isaac Demelweek, and then we've got Zainel Homosani, Tino Sidler, Ollie Wise, Nemanja Jovanovic, Jo Kaspar, Joipera, then we've got Thomas Ingram Hill, Sinja Ornborn, Mathis Ometre, Viti Väinänen, Romeo Nazar, then we got Karlis Kirikovs, Johan Zlobinski, Hans Markus Narus, and Hugh Puiguillon rounding out the 36-strong grid. 7 minutes plus an additional lap have been set on the timer, and all 36 have done their sighting lap. Now we go onto the official formation lap with the red lights ignited on the starting gantry with 7 minutes set on the timer. Previous champions in junior road tax include the likes of Dylan LaHaye, Dave Blom, Finn Koyman, Sam Shippers, Robbie Gallier. Then we got Thomas Preining, who last year ran for Team 75, which is run by Timo Bernhard, Joe Turney, Mike van Vugt, Kai Rilletz, and last year, it's a driver that's now progressed to seniors, Tommy van der Stroys. Who was who was at the bottom part of the top 10 and came back to win it on the final weekend of the season. So the drivers now getting into formation, a full 36-strong grid. The action over the heats for both juniors and seniors, when you will have capacity grids of 36 drivers, will really set the tone for how the weekend is going to play out. The drivers make their way out of the 12th and final corner. Into the tram lines. Are we ready? Are we steady? The lights are out. Junior Heat 1 underway. Good start by the poleman, Kasper Schormans, as they make their way through into turn number 2. And there has been a multi-cart incident. One cart was bunny hopping over the front of another. As, we've got a bit more chaos happening through turn number 3. The drivers are permitted to use the runoff area on both turn number 2 and also turn 10 on the opening lap. Any time that they go outside of it go onto it with all 4 wheels out of the circuit track limits is an automatic 5-second time penalty, but Schormans leads the way. Down into turn number 10 on the opening lap. And just behind him is the 2.70 of Mitchell van Dijk, who started behind Schormans, who now has gone through, and it's the undercut from Schormans coming out of the final corner. The two were side by side coming across the line, 1,000 separating them, and then Mika van der Pavert decides, right, you two are side by side, I'm going to slipstream my way through into second position, and precisely does that. Good job by Ruben Verheyen, who's now in 4th place. Armand Hamilton, who was on the outside of the front row, currently sitting in 5th position, looking to get past the 2.45 as... it's getting a bit close. Van Dijk gets through on Van der Pavert for second position through turn number 7. Hamilton looks to have gotten up into 4th place. So 5 minutes plus an additional lap still to go. Schormans is leading, but both he and Mitchell van Dijk have started pulling away from the rest of the opposition. Van der Pavert looks over the left shoulder. Verheyen has got Hamilton up the inside. And the 2.42 gets through for position. That's 4th place. Archie Buttle not that far behind either. Neither is Marlon Di Salvo from Germany. A little bit of frantic activity behind Archie Buttle at the moment, which includes Mathias Jellerup from Denmark, running with, looks like, RS Competition, judging by the livery. Just to let senior Rotax drivers... Oh, well, as I was about to give a paddock announcement, that all went horribly wrong because Mathias Jellerup got a bit compromised going through into turn number 10, and it nearly caused a domino effect. But in the meantime, Kasper Schaumann still continues to lead. Dave Stevens is out of the race. Max Cuthbert, an early casualty as well. Looks like the 234 based out of Chelmsford in Essex has been embroiled in that unfortunate first lap incident. So a few more drivers trying to look to get up the order, and that includes the 245. Ruben Verheyen is showcasing some good skills out there at the moment, but it is all for themselves. The elbows are well and truly out. A bit more side-by-side action towards the back end of the field as we're about to complete lap number 3, or lap number 4 at the moment. With 3 minutes and 10 seconds plus an additional lap, the top two are still pretty much with each other. Archie Buttle having a really good battle with Ruben Verheyen, and that is Olivier Jonkers who sends it up the inside into turn 3. Nice work by the young Belgian from Dams Racing. And Buttle just keeping the defensive line. Jonkers trying to open up the window of opportunity. He checks over his right shoulder. Sees Ruben Verheyen there. So just to let you know that for the senior groups, for the respective heats, the results are now online. As Archie Buttle has got Olivier Jonkers to the outside through into turn 10. Jonkers has to put the brakes on. Verheyen gets through up the inside of the 212, and they've got the 228 of Bourguignon from France, who started down in 20th position, now gunning for a top 8 place. Schaumann's in the meantime, and we do have a yellow flag at Marshall post number 1, so there might have been a little bit of an incident. There is a noisy exhaust, I have just heard, so someone is very imminently going to get a mechanical black flag, as there's still battling going on. So Olivier Jonkers, so whoever it is at the far part of the circuit, judging by what I can hear. So Kasper Schaumann still leads the way with 1.5 minutes plus an additional lap on. The time is still to go. Mitchell van Dijk, Mieke van der Pavert and Armand Hamilton ran at the top 4. Last time round they were 1.4 seconds. Oh, I've definitely just heard it. It's just that noisy exhaust is definitely making its way down the start-finish straight right about now. So that will very shortly be picked out. A bit further back, and move up the inside. That's Timo Jungling that's just got through on the 227 of Thomas Ingram Hill. Well, both he and Thomas Ingram Hill have got through on the 245, I believe, which is Ruben Verheyen. A bit further back, Olivier Jonkers doesn't seem to be having a good time. It might be him that might have the noisy exhaust. Mechanical black flag. And I've just spotted it. I think it is 212. It might be 212. But we're getting down to the final part of this race. I think that's why Olivier Jonkers has dropped all the way down to the back end of the field. And it is Olivier Jonkers. He knew it was him. But at the front, it's game on for the top 4. Schaumann's leads the way as we go on to the penultimate lap. Lap 8 out of 9. And Mitchell van Dijk has been keeping Kasper Schaumann's very honest, but there is the door opening for Mieke van der Pavert. The 286 from SP Motorsport nearly gets through. Armand Hamilton switches to the outside to get a good cut through. Oh, there's a contact between Van Dijk and Van der Pavert into turn 7. Oh, dearie me. That's not what you want. And they both, unfortunately, rearranged the foam barriers on the exit of the corner. So yellow flags at Marshall post number 4. So that has given a get-out-of-jail-free card, effectively for Armand Hamilton, which puts him in second position. But now, with the timer expiring, 7 minutes have elapsed. Casper Schumans looks over his right shoulder. Oh, and a little bit further back, Ruben Verheyen's just been off the circuit at turn 11. There are about 5 or 6 cars squabbling for the same part of real estate, and Verheyen was the one that was forced out wide. So we still have quite a lot of battles to decide. Drivers are really having to fight, and there is some bumping and boring. I'm wondering how many front fairing penalties there may be post-race. They will be inspected post this session. But the leaders are making their way through into turn 9 for the final time on lap number 9 itself. Casper Schumans, and there's been more drama, and that is the 2:57 that has gone up into the air. That's Johan Szoblinski from France. But the top 2, well, Hamilton was closing. It's not going to be enough at this point. It's good points, though, because Casper Schumans wins the first junior road tax race of the day from lights out to checkered flag by just over 1/10 of a second ahead of Hamilton. Third place, it's going to be Lucas Selle from France. Then it's Thijs van Wijk. It was Ryan Bourguignon that got up to 4th place from 20th on the grid come the start about 8 minutes ago. Thijs van Wijk, Archie Buttle 6th, Marlon Di Salvo, Timo Jungling started 16th, finished in 8th. Great work by Australia's Isaac Demoweek in the number 235, finishing in 9th ahead of Switzerland's Tino Sidler. The top 12 rounded out by the 2 Brits of Thomas Ingram Hill and Ollie Wise. Sebastian Koch in 13th. Luca Prima, Jörg Kaspar Joipera, who is from Estonia, managed to make it up to 15th. Matti Solmetre, Sinja Ornbol, Zeno Homosani, Max Swiderski, Ruben Verheyen rounding out the top 20. Then we had Romeo Nazar from Australia, Nemanja Jovanovic, Matthias Jellerup, Boris Maximov, Timothy Vladimirov. Hughes Piquillon from France started last, finished 26th ahead of Karel Kirikovs, Mads Larsen Vittivainen, Johan Zablinski, Mitchell van Dijk, and Mika van der Pavert finished the race in 31st and 32nd, with Hans Marcus Narusk, Olivier Jonkers out, Max Cuthbert out, and Dave Stevens out as well.